Hey world, this is Justin, and you are tuned to Anywhere the Needle Drops. What's going on, folks? Happy spring, or close to spring. I mean, technically it's spring. It's been a little chilly out the last few days, but we're here. You know, the days are longer, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, and it won't be too long before we're all complaining about the 90-degree weather. So I think we can say spring has sprung regardless of the chilly time we've had the last few days. Yeah, so welcome to the show. Today we have local band, Midwest indie rock band, Why Not Both. More specifically, it was Kelsey, Aaron, and John of Why Not Both who were hanging out with me in the Theory One studio and just having a chat about what they do, the local music scene, all that fun stuff. And Why Not Both has a couple of great shows coming up. Definitely some chances for you to go see them live. May 17th out at the Rocky Button in South Bend. That should be a fun show. They're going to be playing along with local favorites City Sun and then a band by the name of Sundial, who I've not heard yet, but maybe you'll see me out there checking them out. So that should be a fun show, May 17th at the Rocky Button. And then June 1st, one of my favorite events of the year, Rebel Art Fest. And Michelle and Nat Fitzgerald and the team, they do an amazing job every year of bringing around a bunch of great vendors and artisans and food and music. But let me tell you, this year, check out that music schedule. Links are in the show notes, but the lineup for the music this year is just stacked. So, and of course, Why Not Both is one of the bands you'll see that day. So definitely get out to one of those, get out to both of those events. Do yourself a favor. Go to the Rocky Button on May 17th. Go to Rebel Art Fest on June 1st. You'll probably see me there, and you probably, I'm going to guarantee it. You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to have a good time. So yeah, before we get to the interview, we're going to shoot you over to a tune from the latest Why Not Both album. That's a song called Keep On. And then my chat with Kelsey, with Aaron, with John is after. Enjoy. Here's to life.
Keep on trying till the sun comes up.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. So let's talk first off, the album that you guys had come out. Was it late last year or early this year? I forget the exact release.
Very early this year.
Very early this year.
January 4th.
All right. So self-titled album. Was this the first album from the band?
Yes.
Okay.
Officially, yeah.
Nice. How long have you guys been together as an outfit?
2019.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a while. Yeah,
Nice.
a long time coming. Obviously, COVID put a big space.
I hear that had an effect on some things, you know.
Yeah.
So
That year didn't exist.
yeah, it really didn't. It really didn't. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild how the world has changed, because I feel like the local music scene had kind of been on an upswing for a while, and then sort of had kind of collapsed in on itself a little bit in some
little-
ways pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then, not that, you know, there wasn't a lot of bad things from COVID, but it does feel like that did create an opportunity for sort of a rebirth from kind of some of the, maybe, I feel like a lot of the weight got put into a few places in the previous incarnation of the music scene, and COVID was an opportunity for maybe that to spread a little bit. You guys have any perspectives on that?
Yeah. A lot of bands got together during that time, and
They did.
And I would say, too, that we played at a lot of the same places. Well, we had kind of just started, so I can't really say we played at a lot of the same places, but now there's a lot more. I mean, the Rocky Button has like completely expanded from when we first played there in the basement, like in River Park.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
so cool now. Yes, there's a lot more places. I mean, Lang Lab's been around forever, but I just feel like the stuff going on there has just like completely expanded too. So yeah, I think there's a lot more venues than pre-COVID,
yeah.
or at least
The quality is there.
Yes.
The quality might be higher, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people went, like, they almost went back to the workshop
Yeah.
during COVID. I feel like that's kind of like what we did.
Yeah.
We still practiced, but we didn't have that many shows. And
no, we didn't come back until 2021. I
Really?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we
I feel
played
like
at that like barbecue place.
Yeah, because that's during that time. You said Joe only played one show before 2020 happened.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this last night. So it was just me
Okay.
being affectionately bullied by people I've known for a long time to play, because like I've always like done like open mics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Lauren Steinhofer has always had like the pre-Yart
Sure.
show, so she let me play, and I was terrified and had way too many drinks. Anyway, that's when we got together. So he was my unofficial drummer.
Yeah.
And then John, his previous band had just disbanded, or people moved away,
we
right?
were taking
Taking
of
a
a break.
break, yeah.
Yeah.
So his wife, actually, one of my longtime friends, was like, "You need a bassist?" And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So
I know
that
a
was kind of yeah. But then we had another guitarist for a while, but then Joe joined, and we had one show, and then the world shut down.
Yeah.
And he
Yep.
stuck around though. He's
Yeah.
still
Yep. Were you guys, did you still operate in some form during that time? Were you doing some kind of practices virtually or otherwise, or, you know, any kind of work during that time?
yeah. Well, I had a baby.
I hear that takes some time and
Kelsey
energy.
was doing the most work.
Yeah. So that happened. But yeah, I feel like once it was safe, we masked for a while.
Yeah, we masked for a little bit.
But yeah, once we could, we started practice up again.
And it was like 2021. We were still kind of in the middle of COVID. Even when we got back together, it was. I think we had just finally gotten bored of not doing it, and just, you know, because I think a lot of people were still masking up and pretty terrified or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the whole having a small potato infant, I was like,
Yeah.
you can't come over. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel
But
like,
also stay over there.
yeah. I feel like, was that when Sibilance put out the mixtape? I feel like that was 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when
Siblings
we put
Records.
out Pretty Ribbons.
Yeah,
'Cause
Jared.
I feel like this album we've been working on for a long time. So
Yes.
There is a lot of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've talked to so many artists who they were in the midst of some work, some phase, something, either during that, you know, before that time, or even during that time. And then, you know, some of that kind of dropped off because they changed, the world changed, whatever. And some people have gone back to the work they were doing at that time. And some people, they're like, well, it's kind of a time and a place now that's not relevant. It's like, what do we do with this? You know? So
I wanted to redo it all, but it didn't seem worth it. It was already done, you know? So it's like.
That's something that, we did. So I would say probably 60% of the album was written 5 years ago.
Okay.
You know, but then we wanted to make it longer. So some of the songs John wrote. But a couple of them we'd released as singles. And Aaron is just very much perfectionist. Where he's like, we need to re-record it. And I'm like, listen, this is what it sounded like when we recorded. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's never going to have that like genuine, like, this is when we were super excited about it. This is when we recorded it. This is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to be like, just release it.
Yeah.
Put it out there. You know?
Yeah.
People are ready for it.
But even so, that is why it took so long too, is just like, I'd have to admit to hearing some stuff back. I'm like, nope, I got to redo those vocals. That's not.
Well, there's that thing as a creator too, where it's like you have the initial ideas. So as a writer, as a filmmaker, there's never been anything I've ever finished creating that looks like what I imagined in my head. You know, it always evolves in the process, and there's that point where you just have to sort of like let it be what it is, you know, and release it to the world. And
it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also your baby. So you want to you know, I don't know. It's hard to let go.
It is. But that's kind of what we've always talked about too, is like moving on from that set of songs. Like we've always added covers and stuff and changed things around, but it was like, we're ready to kind of like move on in the timeline. Like, here's this chunk of time. We've played these songs for 5 years. We're good.
Yeah.
We practice them sometimes.
And we do practice. I mean, we still love them and everything. It's it's like putting that phase kind of our lives into a package. And you know, everybody can enjoy it, and we're gonna continue to write things and you know, work on the next album. Ideally, that's this year.
That's really all you can do. I mean, you can't live in that time forever.
No,
and who would want to, really?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of reliving just because of us being sort of at the 5-year anniversary of all the COVID stuff. And I listened to Michigan radio, which is like the public radio for like the Kalamazoo region. And they've been doing this sort of like reliving of that time. And I'm like, I don't need to listen to this. I'm good. I was there. Yeah. Like I had forgotten. I remember now and I'm good. So, you know, yep. So, all right. So why not both? Was why not both a thing when it was just you setting up for this open mic situation, or did it form as you guys came together?
It formed. I went by Kel's mommy. That was my
okay. All right.
Because that's one of the things. I never had the, I guess, courage to take it seriously at all.
Sure.
I mean, that's totally my own fault. But now that I've got like super talented people behind me that are like, no, it's good. I'm like, okay, it's good. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I need that.
I mean,
group.
As creative people, don't we all? Like, we're all
it's a mutual exchange.
We're all like, I suck. And then like,
I can't do this by myself. So I don't know. I think we messed around with a few names, but it was just like, why not both?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
I think it was John that you said
it was. I can't remember why though, because I thought somebody
jokes about
brought
the
up
commercial.
the commercial. Yeah, somebody brought it up. I thought, and then we were like, you know what? That's all right.
The old El Paso, right?
Yeah, old El Paso commercial.
Oh wow, is that where it comes from?
Yes. She says it in Spanish. So.
That's great. That's great. I had actually imagined a different story in my mind for how you came to that, but that's beautiful. I love it. Okay.
Way deeper.
Yeah, it really, it was like there were two like perfect band names and you couldn't choose, and then like why not both? Someone said, and that was the band name.
I like that. That's
I don't know. I'm down for the old El Paso commercial too, so that's good. That's great. That's great.
That's funny.
Yeah. So all right. So wow. Okay. All right. So you guys have it's a chill sound, but it's also very uplifting in a way. Like it just makes me feel good when I turn on your music. So is that intentional? Is that what you're going for? Tell me a little bit about how you've built your sound as this collaborative, this group.
Looking at me.
Well,
I mean, you were the origin points, as I understand it.
Because you're providing the main template.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
write sad girl music. And then I have 3 amazing people behind me that I think are all influenced by very different music from what I listen to, who add like so much, make it so much more complex, but underlying is that like pretty melodic sad girl.
Sure.
So I just think it's like you couldn't. One of my favorite things about this group, because I've tried to play with a few people over the years, whatever, but this group, it's like nobody's really like directing. I don't want to say like we don't have direction, but I mean no one's ever like, hey, play it like this. Hey, no, I don't like that. It's just kind of really organic.
Yeah.
And so anything
Yeah.
I've ever shown them, even if it's 4 chords, they're just like, all right, cool. And then they just jam along. And it's just, it's so low pressure, organic. Like it feels good. I don't know. So I appreciate them a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like Joe added a lot of the.
Joe does add
Yeah,
that.
he's something special, you know.
Yeah,
I think a big part of it is though the like kind of like the sad girl music has like a certain comfort to it, and I think that some of the reasons that I write music is to like deal with issues that I have in my life, and it's how I'm like expressing my emotions, and like taking that into consideration and then kind of coming together in this way where we're all kind of participating together in almost, I don't want to say it's like group therapy, but it kind of feels like that sometimes, where we're kind of like, you know, taking these ideas that Kelsey had and putting our own spin on them and stuff. And, you know, I think that comfort, that like, you know, and I wouldn't be still playing with these guys after so long if we didn't have such a great like relationship and didn't feel like family, you know, being around them and stuff. So yeah, I just think that's kind of part of like, I think that honestly does kind of shape our sound in a lot of ways, because there isn't that like, you have to do this, you have to, you know, follow this solo that I wrote, you know, it's just, that's just, you know, not how we roll.
yeah, it just kind of works. Because I should be ashamed, but I'm not ashamed to admit that when it comes to art and expressing myself, I'm not great at taking critique, because it feels so vulnerable when you're like, here's this thing that I wrote, please like it, you know? And the fact that they're never like, you know, they're just like, all right, cool, let's go. And I'm like, okay, you know, like it feels really good. It's a lot of reassurance and like, it's just
like validation kind of.
Yes, validation and just like, the fact that these guys want to play with me makes me feel pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for liking my song.
It is tough though. I mean, you know, when you put all your emotions into your creative work, and you know, 9 times out of 10, any kind of critique of that is probably more so on like a structural level or a craft level, and but it feels like it can feel like it's on the feelings that you're sharing. So it's not like, well, what if you change this chord? It's like your feelings are invalid. That's what you're, you know.
Why are you rewriting my song?
Luckily,
don't you like me anymore?
Like after 5 years together, John would be like, here, try it here, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I know now.
Yeah,
it's
a safe space.
I know now it's safe.
Yeah.
No, at first, oh man, that was tough.
Well, our first guitarist, Chris, he was like a shredder too, so it's like that version of the band was way different than when we added Joe, which kind of brought more of you know, the Deadhead vibe, appreciation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where it's not just down tempo indie vibes. You know, it adds a little bit more flavor, spice, if you will.
Yeah, well, and I think Joe is just absolutely amazing at like just knowing where to fill in, where to back off a little bit, and where to just go crazy. Like, again, I've none of us have ever had to look at him and be like, hey, all right, now you're gonna,
Yeah.
like it's just he knows what he's doing.
Step back, man.
It definitely seems to work. I mean, I love some guitar shredding, but I'm not sure that's what I would want in those moments with what I'm feeling with you guys.
Yeah. Play to the room or play to the song, if you
Yeah.
will.
Make
Yeah.
it pretty.
Yeah.
It's just gotta be pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Mentioning, the sad girl music. What are you listening to now, or what were you listening to maybe like growing up that influenced you this direction?
Well, I would say that if you've heard any of our sets, like our covers, it makes it really obvious, like Feist.
Okay.
Feist, Mira. Of course, when you ask me, my mind goes blank. Tegan and Sarah.
No,
like, that's
yeah.
like high school playlist right there. Like I'm like almost exclusively listen to like female vocalists.
Yeah.
Like now I try to listen to things that are a little more, I don't know the word, like complex. Just because these guys can do a lot. So I guess I'm trying to like change up my rhythm, that's another reason why I wanted to put the album out and just kind of be done with those songs, because I want to move on to maybe a little bit more challenging or write to more
Intricate.
or more what you guys would like to play or not would like to. You know what I mean.
We love to play all kinds of
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
no,
but I
and
just want to,
it's,
a little
yeah.
funkier, a little more,
Yeah.
a little weirder.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Open up to the skills
Yeah,
available.
so-
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been listening to like Mama Larky, which a good friend of mine turned me on to. This band called Twins, really cool. Like, so yeah, just a little less four chord sad girl music.
Yeah.
But that is me at my core.
Sure.
That is.
Well, and that can always be there at the core. Doesn't I think of a band like the Early.
Yeah.
I remember when they were just like a 3-piece, pretty standard rock and roll outfit, and you look at what they've evolved to now, and that's all kind of them slowly like expanding into the sounds they had available to them. But still, that essence is still there. You still feel that,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think I could deny it if I tried.
Yeah,
So.
it's just a part of who you are.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your musical origins, listening wise?
Oh man, I was like the biggest Blink-182 fan growing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
The hardcore, still to this day. But no, a lot of like hip hop. So like, I feel like that's a lot of my beats for Why Not Both is like down tempo.
Okay.
Groove a little bit, but like now I've been listening to like a lot of Lewis Cole stuff and like Knower, and he's the clowncore guy. It's
Okay.
like, stuff I listen
Yeah.
to now is a little
Knower's
different,
so
but
good.
the biggest Blink-182 fan.
You ever listen to Butcher Brown? Mm-mm. Butcher Brown is this. I don't even know how I came across him. He's one of these artists that I follow now and get the updates when they have new music. I don't remember how I came across them, but it's like this merging of hip hop and jazz, and it's just the most.
Yeah.
It's great. I think you might dig that. Check out Butcher Brown. The new album's pretty fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but,
Butcher Brown, don't let me forget.
Yeah. I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
recorded now. I won't forget.
It's right. It's on the record.
Yeah.
So, and your musical origins?
Oh boy, my musical origins. As far as listening music, as a kid I wasn't really allowed to listen to like secular music. It was a kind of a fundamentalist kind of upbringing. So occasionally though, like when I was like 10, I got a stereo that could record, onto tapes and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was spending my Friday nights listening to like The Bear and U93, making my own like
Absorbing what you
mixtapes
could.
off of the top, top
Yeah.
hits or whatever. But beyond that, when once I got into high school, I guess it was kind of like Linkin Park and My Chemical Romance and very emo kind of phase of my life. But yeah, I like listen to Lewis Cole, like Aaron mentioned, and also on the way here, I was listening to this 80s and 90s kind of Japanese yacht rock band called Masayoshi Takanaka.
Okay.
It's a very chill vibes, and they have wicked bass playing.
So this is from 80s or 90s, or they're harkening
it's
back?
in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
I can't recall when his first album came out. It might have even been the 70s, but he kind of maintained this consistent sound that makes you feel almost like you're on a beach, maybe
Nice,
sipping
okay.
like a Mai Tai or something.
Yeah.
It's very chill music, yeah.
All right. Very nice. So, coming from that, like sort of strict background, was there music that was given to you that was allowed? Is there something from like?
Yeah, they're not. It's not. I would never endorse this band currently. Apparently, their lead singer is awful, but Skillet was a kind of an influence when I was a kid. That I was allowed to listen to because they labeled themselves as Christian.
Sure.
And also Creed, to a certain extent, was kind of labeled as a Christian band.
Yeah.
And so that was, there was some like Christian music I kind of like got into, and then genre wise, I guess I stuck with those kind of genres and into the like, normal people music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lurking out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the first song I ever learned how to play on guitar. Was like 6 Feet.
We should cover that song.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. What? Are we getting some pushback on that, Kelsey? Nope.
Kelsey said, yeah.
Rejected.
I don't know if I can do the voice.
We'll have Joe do it or
There
something.
you go. So, is there? So it sounds like you do the core of the songwriting, but is there any other songwriting that y'all are doing, or is there? Is that something you guys are pushing toward? Maybe,
So
or
John has been writing the last couple songs that we've been working on. I always make the joke that if it looks like I'm really good at guitar, it's because John wrote it. Because he's got me all over the place. But no, they're really cool. They're slightly. I'm so bad with adjectives, but like it's slightly like funkier than the stuff I write. But it's so cool. I hope you think to hear because he'll record me like a little demo version. That way I have something to practice with. But then you get a few practices in where like I inevitably change it. It's just part of what I,
You're interpreting the song.
Yeah, and so then we get like a little demo recording at practice, and I'm like, it sounds really cool. Like it came together because at first when I hear it, I'm like, how am I going to execute it the way that he's hearing it? The way that he wrote it, the way, to honor what he wrote. But, that's part of it is like we're coming together to interpret it and make it Why Not Both songs.
Yeah.
So it's super fun. It is really cool to learn something that somebody else wrote. It's like a whole nother ball game.
We kind of have, speaking of, maybe it's not an adjective, maybe it's an adverb. Why not bothify some of our cover songs? That's a word we use at practice sometimes.
We eat the song, digest it, and then it's like
Okay,
a rendition, if you will.
That's one of my favorite compliments that I feel like I've gotten enough times to say that I think it's a general consensus that we'll cover a song and it's like halfway through and someone's like, oh, it's that song.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we slowed it way down.
Any particular favorites amongst those?
I feel like a lot of people like the Intuition.
Intuition is a Feist cover.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Hypnotize is a Mira cover. So I could be wrong because it's been so long since I read this lore, but basically she recorded this in a campsite in the mountains. So there's all these bug sounds and it's like a hand drum and it's a super quiet song. So if you listen to the original versus what we play, basically we're just using the lyrics.
Sure.
At this point.
I think the original is called Pure. And
It is called Pure,
There's a
yes.
whole part of the song that we don't actually include that.
Yeah, so we're
it's
playing
the chorus,
half the
basically,
song lyrics only at this point.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're just gonna play the cover like the original sounds, then what's the point? You've gotta why not bothify it?
Yes.
Right.
So,
You heard it here first.
That's right.
Well, and that one originated from when my daughter was really little. I would just it's 2 chords back and forth, and I would sing it to her
Yeah.
because it's about falling asleep. So then we just played it at practice, and it turned out real cool. So we're like, all right, add it to the set.
Yeah. Run it up.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Another song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add it.
Whatever.
Add it on.
Yeah, whatever you can make work. So, all right. So, as you are, when did you get into actually creating music? What was the start of that for you?
Well, I picked up a guitar. I think I was 17 or 18. My brother plays, my older brother, and we would write songs together about X-Files and Dexter's Laboratory.
Nice.
And
I'm doing a rewatch of X-Files right now. So,
okay, so
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
So we would just write well, I shouldn't even say me because he's very poetic. I don't know. He's a really good songwriter. We need to bully him into playing more, but yeah. So we would just write these songs, but we had a hard fast rule that we didn't want to sing love songs together. Just
yeah, sure. It's awkward. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wrote these silly songs about. Yeah, well, Dexter's Lab was our big hit.
It goes
I say
so
that
hard.
because it had 500 views on SoundCloud.
Hey,
so,
that's it's not nothing. It's
But
not
yeah,
nothing.
I guess that was it. And then I would just sit in my garage every night after work and play guitar. And yeah, I don't know.
What was I got to ask, what was the X-Files song about, or songs?
So it was kind of just from Mulder and Scully's perspective. So we kind of sing over each other.
Yeah.
So his line was you say I'm making a fuss, and then I would say, but I don't think we're safe. And it would overlap. And
Okay.
then you might be right, but I don't think we're safe. So it's loosely. The Dexter's Lab song is way more on the nose. 'Cause
Okay.
It's sort of what is this buttons for? I would sing from Dee Dee's perspective.
Nice. Okay.
Way more on the nose. But yeah, that was essentially it. And I'm talking, this was at his first apartment in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So it was
We need
minute.
to bring these songs back. To
I'm
the
telling
stage.
you, this.
We have it on a CD
here
in
for
the
this
car right
X-Files
now.
thing, so for sure.
I got asked to play, be a guest performer for this. It's a girls' camp that they do through the library called Girls Rock, Michiana.
Yeah.
They asked me to be a guest performer, and I was like, I don't know what to play because I don't want to play some super sad song for these 5th grade girls real quick. So I pulled out the Dexter's Lab song. Huge hit. Huge. Surprisingly, they knew what it was. I didn't know if that show was still relevant, but
It's hard to keep track anymore. I host trivia, and when I make my questions, it's does anyone know Three's Company? I think so. But so it's how do you know with the internet everything's cool? You know?
Right.
So
Right.
I almost threw in a Magnum PI question the other day. I'm I think people know what this is. I don't know. Nope. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Apparently.
sorry.
All right, scratching that off the list. That will not show up on the next trivia night. All right. Your musical origin, or playing origins. When did you get started?
I think 13 or 14.
Okay.
I got started initially. I do remember one core memory. I saw the movie Drumline.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I need to do that. That's so cool. And then I found out it wasn't Nick Cannon playing drums, and that was pretty disturbed. I was pretty upset. But I think 13, 14, definitely in like high school and everything. Like
Did you
jazz band, marching
join-
band.
okay, so yeah, band and everything, yeah,
So it was,
okay.
drums kind of consumed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest Travis Barker fan ever. So
Nice.
you know,
He is a killer drummer.
yeah, I think he's a better drummer now. But music wise, high school kind of took over, like marching band, jazz band, and everything like that. So other than that, drums
drums only.
drums only.
Yeah.
Drums only.
Don't need those. Don't need those strings.
Yeah.
All that fancy stuff. Yeah.
My origin story is pretty simple, right? Marching band, jazz band, concert band, that
Yeah.
stuff. And,
Yeah. Get you those foundations, though. You know, so.
Got me addicted early.
Oh,
So,
but you're one of those 10,000 hours people. So
well, I stop at 10,000 hours.
That's when you're done. You're just like, I can't do any better than this. I've peaked. So
Yeah, well, I guess after drums, studio work or recording, I started diving more into, I guess, making songs, if you will.
yeah.
And
Which is an art form unto itself. I see Paul do his work in here, and I'm just like, you're hearing things that I don't even know that exist right now, and it blows my mind. Or Nate Butler, you know Nate Butler from Nimblewit out in Goshen.
I've heard that name.
Shiny Shiny Black.
Yeah. Art Schroeder was just talking about that.
Yeah,
the show.
Great band, but he also has his own recording studio. And speaking of Abby Thomas earlier, I did a documentary on her last year. So I was hanging out with them constantly, and Nate's her drummer and produced her album. And so I'm in the studio and just watching him do his thing.
Yeah.
And like, you recognize genius in those moments where it's just like they're on a level that I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
They're in this flow state.
I don't know anything about it. All I know is that I hear you listening to like the same 1.2 seconds of a song 57 times, and I was like, I would go insane.
Yeah.
I can't.
I am insane. I'm brainwashed.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah,
whatever works.
I feel like in 2007, I found Pro Tools, got my first copy, and then it just took over my world, you know?
Yeah.
But
It's crazy. All right. Music. When did you start playing music?
I started playing music when I was about 5, and I was playing
5.
piano.
Okay. Was it a musical household if you're starting that early?
A very musical household, like church players and stuff like that. Yeah. And my granddad played, I think it was called baritone horn, in kind of like a band, not a marching band, but kind of a sit-down old people band.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
And so I started playing piano when I was very young, and then I switched to violin when I was 14, so I could be in orchestra in high school.
Yeah.
And played violin for a while, and then met some people that wanted to start a band. However, we tried to practice with the violin. You can't hear it.
Yeah.
Over electric guitar. We were trying to do kind of maybe a yellow card thing. I don't know what's going on there.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yellow card. Yeah.
They handed me a bass instead, so I learned how to play bass. And I had already kind of like dabbled in guitar during this time, just with the violin. And my parents had a guitar at the house when I was a kid, so I'd learned a couple chords.
Sure.
You know.
Is there a future place for violin and why not both song? I feel like that could work.
yeah.
It could
We're not
probably
opposed
work.
to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you shred.
Yeah.
Didn't Yellow Card have a...
Yeah, they had a violin.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Ocean Avenue? Is that,
Yes.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Remember flooding back.
Yeah.
That's a
I bet you I
song.
could sing that whole
Wow.
album.
Yeah,
front to
remember
back. Okay.
Fuse? All the music videos would pop up on Fuse.
Oh my lord! Ocean Avenue. Wow, that song. That's a song that'll make you cry. Man, I haven't thought about
sad.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the nostalgia alone.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at an age now where like I'll cry at commercials, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So like, you dive into some emo pop I was listening to back in the day, it's all over. So. All right. So it sounds like we've probably done a fair amount of moving on from the album. So what is next for you guys as far as releases? We're going to start seeing some singles dripping out, or is there an album coming soon, or what's the future bringing?
I mean, so far we are working on 3 songs?
3 like 3 brand new ones.
3 brand new ones.
They're brewing.
And I think there's a couple that weren't quite included on the album just because the album was a time capsule of an era, a set list that we played a lot. So yeah, I mean,
So it's probably like halfway done, but yeah. So and I think we're gonna be maybe doing singles or something like that.
I feel like a lot of people are doing singles now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
that is the
I
whole
would-
streaming
would like to
Spotify
try
game,
that.
too.
Yeah.
So
And it's
I
kind
get
of
it.
you
It's-
kind of like, hey, we got 30 days to get this song out and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
If we just do singles or
I mean, there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good album, but, you know, I mean...
Oh, it's
Not both,
hard
you
to
know what I
ask
mean?
someone to sit down and spend 30 solid minutes of their time listening to my album. So I get the single thing. But, I mean, at the same time, I don't know if they share this view, but I kind of like when we're on our own timeline, you know, when it feels right. So
Exactly.
we're like, man,
Yeah.
this song is so locked in, so tight, feels good. We're excited about it. Let's record it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's happened with every single that we have put out before. And just, I don't know. Life is hectic enough that I really like keeping us kind of low pressure.
Yeah.
Like, not that, I mean, I want to play shows, I want to push it, but like setting those timelines and stressing people out is not my vibe.
You know what? We need more of that in life. I'm on this this personal journey right now where I've made a rule for myself, which is stop making lists, because I'm a very like organized, like to-do list. Some could say controlling type of personality, and you know, I was discussing with a fellow. So I got a divorce a couple of years ago, and divorcees, we kind of like just smell each other out now and like become friends. We call it the club. And I was talking to one of them, and she's very much more a free spirit and has applied that to her coping, her healing journey on this, and I'm very much the controlling thing. And we were both like, okay, you need to be more organized. And she's like, yeah, and you need to chill the fuck out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So like, there's nothing wrong with just kind of letting the journey happen. I mean, you'll find, especially in the world that we live in, where there's so much like constant like things to answer to, things to address. I mean, to
Right.
just like chill and let things sort of naturally occur. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, there's balance to it.
Yeah.
So, of course, like, when I know I need to practice something before practice, when they're all there, yes, that's a little deadline I set for myself. But
Yeah.
I never want to ruin how fun and like, well, like you said, therapeutic it is almost when we get together and it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
like this sounds so good when we're like doing something new.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin that
Yeah.
by being like, okay, album by June or
Yeah.
whatever, you know. No.
Yeah.
Sacred space.
Towards
safe
the end of
space.
the album, I do feel like we're like, we got to put it out for Kelsey's birthday. You know, that's the only
Okay,
deadline I
that
think we've
was
ever
cool
put out.
though, because
Yeah.
it was my 33rd birthday.
Nice.
And the album was 33 minutes long.
Oh,
Didn't
wow.
do it on purpose.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Some would
That
say
was
magical.
a really fun night. Yeah, the CD release show was really cool.
That's cool. That's cool. So, if and when there is another album, is it just a matter of, all right, we've got, you know, the requisite 10 to 12 songs, or do you aim for like a particular theme, something that holds them more together than just there's that many complete songs?
Nope.
Yeah.
I would say
We're pretty DIY, so it's like
someone asked me that, like, and I almost felt bad with my answer because they were like, "Is there?" Well, they were
There's
like,
no wrong answer
is
here.
there an order that I should listen to the album in? I was like, we just tried to put like not two songs that sounded too similar together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, we're
ends
not-
and starts on the same.
well,
chord.
and then I do again tend to write kind of like sad, slower songs. So we try to like mix that up too. So you're not
Sure.
just like in a cloud of gray, and then.
one happy,
And then
one sad.
here's Keep On and Question to be like, hey, you know.
I thought Question was a sad song.
I mean, it is if you
just-
listen to the words, if you know what it's about, sure.
I actually
But-
love it when like I'm bopping along and then after, you know, because it's always the music that registers first and then the lyrics, you know, a number listens afterwards. And I'm just like, yeah.
dude.
Oh.
John's bass line, you're like, oh, okay. Oh. Her ex-boyfriend was a drunk, abusive. Like, oh, shit. Yeah. So,
Listen,
yeah.
humans are complicated, you
Yeah.
know, so
If we're gonna sing about it, let's at least groove a little bit.
yeah,
It's
there we
all
go.
right.
Yeah, we can dance through our
Okay.
tears. Nothing wrong with that. What about shows? We got some shows in the works? Anything coming up
Yes,
this
we
year?
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me not misspeak. Is it May 27th?
No, it's May 7th. 17th.
Well, that's all right if you don't know the exact date right now, because we can also just link to the website in the show notes
Well,
and
we're
whatnot.
playing-
But there are shows coming, at least
Yes.
conceptually.
But I'm super excited about this one because we're playing with Sundial. They're from Fort Wayne.
Oh, nice,
and
okay.
They're so cool. I'm the biggest, like, we don't make it out to shows like super often, but like when I see a Sundial show, I'm like, we're going.
Yeah.
They're
We
We
so
have to
cool.
go. Sundial and City Sun.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
City Sun, they're the homies forever.
Yeah,
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 that's
All right.
And we're playing Rebel Art Fest also.
Yes, June 1st is Rebel Art Fest.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Shout out
it's-
to Nat and Michelle.
Always.
Yeah.
Nat is one of those people I said that affectionately bullied me into playing.
If there's someone that can affectionately bully, it is Nat. That's
yeah,
100%
no,
sure.
He would
Yeah.
just, like every time there was an open mic at the Well, he'd just message me like, "When are you signing up?
What time are you getting in?
Yeah, what time are you gonna be here?" No, but yeah, so we're playing that, which is always a super fun time. The lineup this year is
Oh my
like,
God, the lineup
so
for Rebel
cool.
is
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
And I think that's
That's the June 1st show. May 17th with Sundial.
Where's that going to be? Is that somewhere local?
Rocky Button.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we just shower some love on the Rocky Button for a minute?
Oh.
Just
Jeff, Christy.
Oh, yeah.
They have
Love you
Heart
so
Forever.
much.
We played their wedding. It
Oh,
was
did
like
you?
the greatest honor of all time.
Yeah.
When they asked us, I was like, really? Yeah, no, they're
You want us to play for your wedding?
yeah, no, I know. I was like, what?
I was like, oh my, that's great.
Yeah, no, we played so River Park, like I'm from River Park, that's
Yeah.
where I grew up. I went to Adams High School. So yeah, their first venue that was like in that basement. I think that was like one of our first shows back, right?
I think
I
so.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's one of our favorite band photos to use. You had no hair.
I
That's
had
why
no
I
hair,
always like I
yeah.
know the timeline because your head was buzzed and now it's like super
Yeah.
hot.
I got that full mane going on. Yeah.
It just keeps growing.
There's no competition.
No, it's not. Yeah, the thing I love about the button is just it's obviously grown out of the love for the music, the love for the art, the
Yeah.
love for the scene in the community, and day one I walked in there, I was like, oh, I feel like I've come home in some way. Like this is
Yeah.
this is magical.
No, they work so hard and like it's just expanded. Like they're always doing something kind of new.
Yeah.
And we just so much love and respect for them. Like, yeah.
I don't know how they do it, honestly. It's like, do you guys have kids? Like,
I don't get either because
Yeah.
I got one and
Do
I'm
you-
like, I'm out of commission. I can't give me
I
give me
think
2
they're a
weeks
good
notice.
Team,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I have a cat, and I'm just like, okay, all right. Do you guys sleep? You know what that is? But yeah, I think you're right. It's a dual, it's a collaborative project between the two of them. Yeah. So
Takes a village.
yeah.
really
Well,
does.
you mentioned earlier, Lauren and Yart. I mean, we've got such a great, this natural, organic thing that's been created here for the love of the art. That's what all these things have come from. You know.
Yeah, Yart is the best day of the year as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing like it. And I just have so much like respect. It's like mind blowing that Lauren is somehow able to organize this. I would feel overwhelmed at the thought of putting all that together, all the people you have to organize, all the people you have to talk to. So
Yeah.
we've played Yart every year.
I think so.
Obviously,
except
there
for the
wasn't
year
one
that
in
they didn't.
2020.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've played every year, some of the parts, but like it's just, I just look forward to it every year.
It's so inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so inspiring to, and I think that's why it keeps growing. Is like, it started out and it was inspiring to that group of people, and then they got bigger, and then the people that came there inspired, and now it's just insane.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so many, whatever people are doing in this scene, if they're the musicians or artists of some other sort, or they're, creating the events and the venues and that sort of a thing, you can tell it's all born out of love. Like the ego, there's no room for the ego. I mean, if you come into it with an ego, you're just like, it's the abilities to succeed can be, like it can be so scarce that like if you have an ego, it's just going to get dashed into bits, and like you can only do it for the love of it and survive.
Or in the way from the creative process. You know, it's just
Yeah. There's plenty of people who have successfully weeded themselves out. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But like, you know, because we all just love each other, support each other, and I think you're absolutely right. It's all just and like the part about it expanding too is just you can't be there and not want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like,
just inspiring, you know.
Yeah.
I have this pet theory that the next sort of big like dot on the map for like a music scene is going to be something like what we've got going on here. It's not going to be a city. It's not going to be Austin. It's not going to be, Nashville or wherever. It's going to be something like what we're in, which is like a sprawling rural region and like that whole thing. Because I do like I count the scene that I cover from Benton Harbor, Michigan to Goshen, Indiana, and everything in between. And there's something going on everywhere in between, and it's pretty amazing. It's all good.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
High quality.
Yeah.
If the passion's there, the quality of music's only going to follow.
I think in a lot of ways the passion has to be there because it's not exactly like lucrative to play across the Midwest sometimes. Especially for when it's a part-time thing and you can't dedicate, more time to it. But
and I think there's so many people dedicated to the idea of instead of going to somewhere that was already quote unquote cool, like why don't we make this place cool?
Yes.
And turns out, hey, it's pretty fucking cool. Like there's never a night where there's not a couple of fun things to choose from.
Absolutely.
So, sometimes it can be exhausting. It's like, I think I'm going to go home and lay on my couch, but
so much to do this weekend.
I know, right? Like which one? It was a couple months ago. There were like 5 shows in one night, and I was just like, and I was trying to do the logistics of, well, if I go to that one for a little bit and then I bounce to that one, and then finally I was just like, I could just stay home. No, I ended up going to like 2 of them. So
no, that's totally fair though. I get it. I will say the only slight bummer thing about Rocky Button, which I'm so proud of them for getting their liquor license because they deserve to make that money.
Yeah.
But I used to be able to take my daughter with me.
No,
it's all good, but like, she loves it. Just pop in there, but I can still take her to Lang Lab. So it was even like the day before Thanksgiving, they had a show, but I was like in River Park at my parents', and I was like, you know what? We got a couple hours. I think you were at work, so I was like, we're going to Lang Lab, and I just think it's so cool because obviously in my mind, just a little bit, I'm like, I hope people aren't judging me that I have my kid out at this show. And then there's like 6 or 7 other kids running around. I'm like, heck yeah, I love this little group of mini musicians that we have running around already.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
Creating the future community.
Absolutely.
Yes. They see the music, they see the art, and that's going to inspire them to do the next thing. I mean, that's where we all come from, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking back, I was never at one of those shows at 4 years old, so it's very inspiring to see it happen. So
Not that young. I think I was like 13 or 14 going to the Underground Cafe.
Cafe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that definitely like gave me what's the saying? Like 13-year-old me would be really proud of myself because I remember seeing people on stage being like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I could never do that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, do you think I'm cool yet?
Now you're doing it.
Am I cool yet?
That's awesome. Well, as we wind down here, is there anything you guys want to toss out there for the listeners as far as what's going on with you guys coming up, or
I think we're just excited that I think that our sound not is changing. It never will because it's us, but it's kind of growing.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really cool. John's writing a lot of the songs, like we're collabing more because when we first got together, it was kind of like I had this backlog of stuff that I had written that obviously we had to transform. But I'm excited because I just feel like what we're doing now, at least on my end, feels a little more challenging, a little more out of my box, which is exciting. Yeah. So, and we're just excited. Summer's coming. Obviously, winter's always a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, it's kind of slow right now, but
sure. as we start getting approached for these festivals and summer's coming, and it's just like we're excited for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're not playing, we're probably still there. At least like 2 out of 4 of us is there. So say hey.
Excited for the summer. Excited for the Sundial show. Once again, gotta plug that band. But
they're so cool.
Yeah, they're really cool people.
Yeah.
And
shout out all the
musicians.
homies too, like City Sun.
City Sun's
Overgrowth.
homies. Yeah, Overgrowth.
Yeah, Overgrowth, making moves.
Mm-hmm.
They just dropped a new single that's really good.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Leatherface forever.
Leatherface
Yeah.
forever.
Okay, Leatherface, like, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to them, but they are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, they're not really aligned with our
It's a
genre.
different sound. Yeah.
Do you
for
know
sure.
how many shows we've played together? Just because we came, I think the inception of both bands was at similar time. So like in the beginning, we played so many shows with Leatherface, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of a funny matchup, but like
It is.
they're our homies now.
They're the
So
homies.
I think I knew Leatherface prior to knowing you guys, because Leatherface runs with the PRF crew, right? I think they know some of those folks. Maybe I think I saw them. I
Might
feel like
have been John Watson.
I'm not sure. So
Okay. Well, at
Maybe,
any rate, I knew them. I knew them like previous, and then when I think I saw a show that you guys were on together, and so I'll have to check out this band, and then I was like, this is not what I was expecting. It's fantastic, but coming from Leatherface, I'm like, this is definitely different. There's nothing wrong with those shows. I love that.
I
you
love
know?
it. I love
Yeah.
it. It just makes me giggle in retrospect. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for coming on the show and hanging out for a little bit.
Thanks for having us.
Looking
Yeah,
forward to
thank
what you
you.
guys do next. Looking forward to whatever release comes up, and I'll definitely be out there at some of those shows this summer. So
Sweet.
Okay.
yeah, all right.
Praise
Well,
hands.
got Kelsey and Aaron and John. Thanks for hanging out. Why not
Thank
both? And yeah, there'll be links in the show notes to all your stuff. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We'll see you around.
You've been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops from Red Chuck Productions. Keep up on new episodes of this show, our live events and various creations and other happenings over at redchuckproductions.com or by following us on social media at Red Chuck Productions. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out over at herojuniormusic.com. That is Hero, H-E-R-O, Junior, J-R, music.com. A big shout out to Paul Clemson and Theory One Productions for handling sound duties and so much more. Check out their magic over at theory1productions.com. And a big thank you to Earthworks Audio for outfitting the Red Chuck studio. See their microphones and their other products over at earthworksaudio.com. Be sure to support all of our guests by visiting their websites, social media, clicking that subscribe button, seeing them live, and checking out their merch stores. Give musicians and artists your money. We'll be back with the next episode. Until then, thank you for your time. Here's to life.
Zombie